What do you think?
I like it. Good morning. It is Monday, and overnight we got a few inches of snow into this morning. So I'm just gonna shovel off the porch here. It's not like it's cold or anything like that. It's actually quite pleasant. And it seems to be warming up and to like maybe +1 because everything's starting to melt, which is nice. And the snow is really wet. So that's also nice, but the shovel, I must shovel and get it away from here. Looking forward to when it doesn't snow anymore. So the weather is so warm that I just took a shower, my hair's still wet, and I could still come outside and just put on a hat and not worry about making sure it's dry before going outside. But look at this, guys. We will probably just make it through the winter and spring with our firewood. I mean, that's not much. So now we need to split this because they're just so big for our fireplace. Some of them are nice, but I'm shocked on how much firewood we went through. And I think with the fireplace just being kind of beat up and not necessarily old, but just it has a few holes. You could tell the difference between it not being super airtight anymore and how we went through the wood. Plus it was really cold. Dan, though, if you guys remember right, he had bought all that insulation for doing the shop, and then plans changed and they didn't want to insulate the shop anymore. So then he was like, oh, now what do I do? Because that was during the time where the lake was freezing and we couldn't get out anymore. And then Home Depot doesn't get returns after, I think, 30 days. So it's not going to be wasted, though. We just thought of insulating underneath our cabin. And so that's something he'll be doing this summer. And I think having that insulated floor in the main cabin will help a lot. So that's for this summer, though, the project. And then we'll just go around and try and get some of the front logs, like I think I showed you guys earlier this fall, are really rotted out. So we're either going to have to replace them or he can kind of like patchwork it. And so between the insulating the floor of the main cabin. And then these are the logs here where we put that foam insulation and just kind of screwed it on so that the wind couldn't, you know, whip through it. Between those two things and a new stove, I think the next winter we end up staying here will be a lot warmer. On the new edition, it is just super warm. I mean, we have those propane heaters just basically on the pilot light, like, and it keeps that room really, really toasty because we did heavy insulation in those rooms on the floor and in the walls and the ceiling. So super happy about that. I'm gonna check how much fuel we have. Oh, that's a full. So obviously these two are empty. These are full. So we have plenty of gas. I'll have to clean that up. You can tell it's like at that time of year where when it was like brutal cold, we'd just be throwing stuff, you know, putting it away if it was really high winds and storms and everything. And even in the shop, it's like I can barely move in there. So I'm going to be detailing the shop and just kind of starting, not yet, but starting to swap out the winter stuff and putting spring rain gear back in the main cabin, and some lighter jackets as well. But definitely we need our flotation suits all the way, probably until May, because it is just so uncertain. You know, even when the ice comes off, the water is so cold that if anything happens. And a lot of logs will be kind of hidden in the water, so you have to be really, really careful when you do start to boat, because you just can't see these like half sunk big trees and just waterlogged old docks from other people's docks, and sometimes even ours have come apart in the spring storms, and yeah, they're just really difficult to see them until you're right on it. Lando, where are you? Come. We keep seeing that woodpecker, and always on this tree. Crazy. Wow, it's just all over the place with this tree.
So we're gonna try and head into town today. The conditions haven't been that good for our airboat. For the airboat, we have a mix of slush and snow on top of the ice. We'll see how it goes. Sometimes that really bogs it down, but we'll give it a try. I gotta check the oil. Last time I used it, there was a bit of a ticking sound. So that means either the oil, it's burned off some oil, needs to be topped up, or it's an exhaust manifold leak. I'm hoping it's just the oil. So I'll check it now that the engine's cold and top it up if need be. Anything I've read, it should be about the middle between the high and the low. You gotta be careful not to overfill these engines as well, or you can cause oil leaks. This one's leaking a little bit, you can see there. That's something we'll have to look at. But I think best practice is to check the oil, of course, before starting it every time. It's about halfway between the bottom and the top hatch. That's not good. I don't know if it's got water in the fuel or what, but it's not running too well, that's for sure. At lower revs it's okay, but a long period of revving the engine high and it starts backfiring, so, or at least making losing power, so I don't know.
So it seems like it's a never-ending chore of firewood and water, but we're down to the last weeks, if not the last month of doing that. Daniel has moved into Peter's room while he's away, just the last 3 nights, just to save on firewood so we don't have 2 fires going in separate buildings, because I think we're gonna use it all this year. That's just crazy amount. I mean, it has been a lot more, I mean, way colder than the year that we first did this. So, and this next week is not like balmy warm. It's just kind of like meh. So, yeah, I think through the month of April we'll finish this wood. And we do have those trees, like I said, that we need to cut down, and they've just been really punky, so it's not like the best wood ever. So we'll probably have to order some more, probably in the fall again. I was really hoping to leave on this trip and have it all stocked and ready, so we didn't even have to think about it in the fall, and we could just enjoy friends and family when we get back, and spend all that time with Caroline and Matt and the boys, because Pete will be gone for, you know, a while this summer. But first things first, water. I just filled up the generator, and what I've noticed is these only last one season, so I've had to replace about 6 of them, because when you're putting it into the generator, you're bending it pretty hard, so then they get little holes all in here. So if you guys know a better solution, let me know. Lando is just soaking up the sunshine. It's so cute. As I'm getting firewood, I've left the doors open in the screened-in room and in the main living area just to air it out, because it is only -3 right now, and just get some fresh air. I might even put our blanket outside and let it just hang in the wind. Lando's been using his blanket outside. I think I'll hang it up out there. It's been bugging me. I have Christmas lights up on the top there, and then another strand off on the side, and it's just too icy to get up there, but I can't wait to get that job done. Every time I see it in the videos, I'm like, ah. So just went with Lando and got a whole bunch of birch bark and finished the fire, cleaned it out and got it going again. But look at this. Pete and Dan were driving in town, and they were getting hammered by that rain and snow. So hopefully it keeps that way and doesn't blow over so they can arrive safely. But look at those dark clouds.
Well, I passed.
Nice. So you got your D or M1?
M1, yeah. So, probably gonna book my M2 right now.
In the meantime, I found D16 Champion spark plugs, which are for the fan boat. From what I've been researching and talking to people, it sounds like probably some bunged up spark plugs, which is fairly common with those. And so hopefully we can limp home with it the way it is. And then I've got spark plugs and a plug wrench that'll stay on the airboat, and so I bought a bunch of spares. Hopefully that's all it is. We can get that taken care of. Just got to get some groceries and get back to the lake.
Oh no, that's my M1. That's my M1. Woo! Got it. Oh wow, I should put that in my wallet. Wow. Well, we got the groceries. I got my M1. So now, hopefully, we can make it home.
There's 6 cylinders, so Would you just change them all up, I guess?
Yeah, I'd change them all and look at the ones that are in there. I'll look up in a minute what the torque spec is, but just get them tight but not too tight, you know?
Yeah.
Just kind of like, you don't want to over tighten those.
Right. Chris had a bit of sea foam, just in case that's a bit of water in the carburetor or in the fuel.
So I just got off the phone with the Marina, Kendra, and she's like, yeah, the boys just left. They loaded. She sent a picture, and she's like, they went through the narrows. She could see them hit the water, and she's like, they should be there, and I can hear them. I can't see them. We've been having that one issue. I think it might be the spark plug or something, but I can hear them coming, but it's just a run, and like they're just crawling. Because they should be here. And that's why I was just so concerned. I know, Lando. I just pray they can make it. Could you imagine if they get stranded out there and I'm here, or the boat's like way over there. I don't even know how thick this ice is. I mean, we could maybe get the snow dog and get the gear because we are out of everything. Like I've been just, my pantry's dry. So I was really hoping for this. Okay, they're in sight. They are definitely struggling. They're probably, I know, Lando, it's okay, it's okay. They're probably a kilometer away, and they're not moving. This is not good. Yeah, the engine doesn't sound good. Seriously. So they're kind of going, I don't even know if they're making progress. Can you guys hear that? Like, and the wind was just so bad. It looks like another system's coming. You can kind of see it. Lando knows something's wrong, don't you? What happened? Was that slush or what was it?
No, it's just the engine.
I think it's a carburetor issue. That's what it sounds like to me. It's a brand new carburetor. But it's almost like it gets too much gas and then it backfires.
Yeah.
It just backfires and then you have to let go and let the gas off completely. And then when you give it a bit of gas, it's fine. And then too much gas, it's probably an adjustment on the carburetor. It's not something.
I was just like, when we were over by bird poop, I was just like, oh,
Almost
you know,
there.
right there, it's starting to go.
Yeah.
Well, Kendra was on the phone with me, and she's like, "Oh no, they should be there." And I'm like, "I can't hear them, and I can't
fine
see
until
them."
we got to the water. You better tell her.
Yeah, I
And
did.
We got
but
through the water and everything was fine. And then as soon as we got to Dan's cabin, it was, or to Dan's island over there, it was, it wouldn't go. It just has it heated up. It runs fine when it's cold, so that too sounds like a carb issue, but nothing that we can't fix. But thankfully we made it back, and big
Right
storm
before
coming
those
in.
clouds blow in.
Yeah.
Yum. Thank you, Kendra. That looks so good. Time to make a tea. Wow, so I'm super thankful that the boys made it back. And we got some special yummy banana chocolate muffins from Kendra at the marina. It's always special. And so we'll just tarp the boat. Sounds like it's a carburetor thing, so that's doable. And we'll make a tea and watch this 3-day storm roll in.
Good morning. Another day, another snowstorm. Winter is just not wanting to leave this year, but we're supposed to get, I think, 3 days of a mix of snow, ice pellets, and freezing rain. So we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna go work on the fan boat after yesterday's problems. I spent some time watching some videos and doing as much research as I could, and I'm thinking it's a carburetor issue, and it might even be as simple as just a bunged up carburetor. We did leave it for a couple of months, or a month and a half, 2 months, the machine just sitting there, and the gas could have gone bad, or it could have got some moisture in it over the winter, which is a highly likely possibility. We'll have to take better care next year and watch for that problem. But we do have sea foam, and typically you're supposed to do it on when there's not that much fuel in your tank. Unfortunately, we recently filled it up, so there's nothing we can do about that, but we'll mix in some sea foam. They say to run the engine for about 5 minutes at a time and hopefully let some of that sea foam get sucked into the carburetor and see if it clears it up. So let's give it a try. And if it's not that, we can move on to the spark plugs. In fact, we might just do that because when you bung up the carburetor, you often bung up the plugs at the same time. So I might do all of that today, but let's go see if we can get that thing going. It's a pretty important part of our being able to live on an island, having that fan boat in good working condition. Now the engine's warmed up. I'm just going to let it run at an idle for a bit here and see if we can get that sea foam to work through the carburetor. Someone asked about the hull of the boat and how it can run over something as abrasive as ice. And it's these boats are fiberglass, but they have a thick poly coating or plate, almost like armor on the whole bottom. So that's what can withstand the ice rather than the actual frame of the boat. You want to go into breaking ice very slowly, though. You have to be careful so you don't just jam right into it. So we're getting used to driving it, feel a lot more confident. As far as the engine seems fine. It's definitely a carburetor thing. That's a brand new Holley carb, and maybe as simple as a carb adjustment, but I'm gonna have to do some research on that, how to adjust those. It's either getting the mix of fuel that's got too much fuel hitting it, so it kind of backfires with the excess fuel. I believe that's what's happening, so we'll keep working on it. All of this is good though. I'm glad it's happening now rather than in the middle of the lake, nice and close to the cabin, so we can make those adjustments and learn more about our machine. With anything, like back in the day with the Jeeps or with the truck, the more you know mechanically about your machine, the safer you feel out in the wilderness, so this is all good.
You guy. Not feeling good. Poor guy. Poor Lenny has a tummy ache for the past 2 days. And it's so strange to see him not running around or wanting to do much but just sleep. And when he does come on a walk, I have to kind of force him a little bit, and then he just walks in front of us, which is not typical for him. I was reading up on it, and they say it normally when their tails are tucked, and if they do like small vomits of kind of more of a white vomit, it's a tummy issue. So he must have gotten into something, or I have no idea, because his diet has been exactly the same. But I remember 2 mornings ago, I was actually filming some morning sunrise scenes, and he went running way over there to a little island, and he was really curious about something that was there. And so I don't know if there was something over there, so I hope this ice rain doesn't hit so hard so that I can walk over there and just kind of look around and see what's over there. So I hope he's just, I mean, this has happened like 2 times before, and he just slept for 2 days, and then by the 3rd day he was perfectly fine and acted like nothing had happened. It's just a little bit worrisome, because if the boat was working properly right now, I wouldn't be too worried, because we could take him to the vet if we needed to. But right now we're just kind of waiting. But we'll keep on working on the boat and getting that carburetor or the plugs. For now, he prefers being here or on the couch, and yeah, just kind of quiet. Well, last night we got another dump of snow, probably, oh, I don't know, 5 inches or so. It's kind of pretty, but we're kind of done with it, but it is pretty. I mean, there's no doubt about that. But we're trying to get Lando walking, and I don't know, he had a rough night last night. I don't think any of us really slept, and we just tried to keep him hydrated and let him go outside and walk around. This morning he did do a slight movement, bowel movement, I guess. So that was encouraging. But it's just weird to wake up in the morning, and normally at 6:30 he's right outside our bedroom door, and I mean, like clockwork. And I get up, I feed him, and then he goes outside, does his thing, and then I make a coffee with Pete, and then we take him on a walk, and that's kind of like our routine, and he has it down. So it's just weird to get up and he's not there to greet you, or like even me right now being outside, there's no way, if Lando was feeling good, that he would let me go outside without him. It's just, or any of us, like he lives to be outside. Hopefully, I mean, this morning that was really comforting to see. Not that I didn't think I would get that excited about a dog going, the bathroom would be that exciting. It wasn't much, but it's a start. And I think it's because when I opened the door, there was a little squirrel. And so he kind of moved pretty fast. And I think if we keep him moving, that will keep his whole system, working. It's only -5 this morning. So you can feel spring in the air. It just doesn't look like spring at all.
So when I was in town the other day, I picked up some D16 heavy-duty spark plugs, the ones that they use here in this airplane engine, and a wrench, spark plug wrench, which I'll leave in the boat. In fact, we're making a little toolkit that will go in the front of the airboat so that we can make these repairs out in the field if we have to. I bought 10 of these. We only use 6, so we'll have 4 spares. And I don't know if that's going to solve the problem, but I'm going to give it a try. Yesterday I ran some seafoam through it. Today I'm going to replace the plugs, and let's see what happens. lie down in the sun, okay?
Do you want to come? No?
So it seems to be running pretty good. It still did a bit of a bog, so it can either be a rich bog or a lean bog with the carburetor, caused by a number of different things. Everything from an adjustment on the carburetor to the spark plugs. So they say check the spark plugs first, so that's what I'm going to do. Anytime you go back here with the airplane propeller, you make sure you disconnect the batteries. Never ever go into the rear of the machine with the power still connected. Alright, so I put 6 new spark plugs in there, and I'm going to fire it up, see if that makes any difference. The old ones weren't too bad. Some were pretty gungy, the other few of them looked in good shape, so I'm going to save them. Of course, they're possibly reusable. There might be a way to clean them as well, I'll find out. But yeah, let's try to start this thing now and see if that makes a difference. Sounds pretty good. Let's hope that was it. Well, that is a big improvement. It's running smooth. It's purring like butter, really. So who knew? It just needed some plugs. There's still a slight tick, and that might be just a minor manifold leak, but I don't think that affects the power or anything. I'll have our friend Dan, he's pretty used to working on these things, take a look at it, but I think we're back in business, so yeah, that's happy days. Flick that up. And if you need to stop, that's your kill switch, just anytime. Give it 1 pump of gas and then push.
Which way am I turning? Wait.
Yeah, you can just go straight to start.
And then this way goes.
Pull to the left, push to the right. 1 pump of gas, and this is your start, and that's a kill switch.
Okay.
Pump down, up. Hold it down. it's good. Woohoo! What do you think?
I like it. It's a lot funner than I thought.
Yeah.
I was missing our little, what do you call it? Snowmobile because of this weather. It's so perfect, but then Pete was like, why don't you just go out on the fan boat? So that's my first time doing it, and it was absolutely a blast. A lot easier than I thought, but yeah.
And she's running well.
Yeah, she's running perfect. I felt like I was flying like a helicopter.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. Nice to get outside and do some fun activity. This is UK here.
So it either ships into UK or it goes to, well, actually, okay, so the same ship leaves from Halifax to the UK and then it carries on to Belgium. And then it carries on to Germany, to Hamburg, I think, which is not on this map. So do we have a proper map of Europe? This is Europe, right?
Yeah, this is the Europe
Oh,
map.
okay, but we're up in Scandinavia.
Maybe it's on the back, yeah.
So then I would like to, like a lot of the really cool stuff is out on the coast here. It seemed like very small roads. And then the next one would be
Into
Belgium, somewhere here.
I'm gonna crank through here.
Probably like 2
3
to
weeks.
3, yeah, 2 to 3 weeks in the UK and Scotland.
Yeah.
Would we want to go into?
I think it'd be really neat.
You're there
Ireland,
already,
I know.
and then he cut back in.
This is up here is Nordkap. Nordkap's right there, so I don't know if that's something you guys would want to do.
Oh,
Because
sure.
when we went up to Nordkap, we also went down this road here along Finland and went right up to the Russian border.
Yeah.
There is a little river. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And then
You just backtrack into Finland.
Yeah, it'd be neat to see the reindeer
Mm.
and all that in northern Finland. What are the people? What are they called? The Sami.
Yeah, the Sami peoples.
That'd be neat.